Welcome to the Exec Exchange 15-minute podcast in which a leader from the water sector shares a story to inspire, educate, and inform other water sector leaders from across the globe. My name is Piers Clark, and today my guest is Rob Thompson, General Manager at OC San, or Orange County Sanitation District, as it used to be called, in Southern California. Rob, wonderful to have you with me. Thank you for taking the time.
Thank you for the opportunity to be here.
I'd like to start by just getting a little bit of knowledge about yourself. How long have you been at Orange OC San? What were you doing before you joined OC San?
I've been with OC San for 29 years. I've gone all around the organization. I was a bit of a troubleshooter from the very start. Started in operations, moved to maintenance and power plants, went across to engineering planning, asset management, director of engineering, assistant general manager, and now general manager of OC San. So I have a very rounded understanding. Before that, oil and gas, primarily in northern Alaska, so Arctic environments. And so a lot of varied
From
background.
the Arctic to Southern California, you're going in the right direction. And
Yes,
we
sir.
first met, I think it was 20 years ago, and you were inspiring the innovation team at the time. And we might come back to that a little later in this broadcast. Okay, now let's talk about OC San. How big is it? Who does it serve? How many facilities has it got?
So OC San is right here in the heart of Orange County, California, just south of Los Angeles, north of San Diego. We serve 2.6 million people in sleepy little Orange County. I think of it as the small little place I grew up, but it's the sixth largest wastewater agency in America by population served. It's a major concern. We do regional sewage service. We take all the sewage service from 20 cities, 4 local sanitary or water districts, and part of the county of Orange. We have just under 400 miles of trunk sewer pipe. Our pipes are generally 18 inches all the way up to 10 feet in diameter, delivering that water to us. 2 treatment plants, total wet weather capacity of 640 million gallons a day. On a daily basis, we do about 190 million gallons a day.
Excellent. And the plants are imaginatively named Plant 1 and Plant 2. I always found that particularly amusing.
Creative, yes.
And for people who don't know the geography, you're about 30, 50 miles south of Los Angeles and on the coast of Huntington Beach. Is that right?
Correct.
Now, you mentioned there that you serve 20 cities. And this is important because of how it reflects into your board. So could you take a minute just talking about your makeup of the board and the caliber of the people that are on the board, where they come from? Are they engineers? Are they water utility people, or what?
We get a cross section of the county we serve. The 20 cities that are part of our agency all appoint one member to our board. They do it at their will, not ours. They're not elected directly. So they're either the mayor or city councilman from each of those cities. The special districts also send one person, also elected to their board, not to ours. So everyone is appointed and we have one county board of supervisor.
So you have no one that you have a choice on. You simply get told, this person is now your representative.
Correct. And we have doctors, lawyers, few engineers, not many, IT specialists, government people, professional.
Haven't you had a pop star, a rock star?
Band member from a rock and roll band. Yes. The blonde.
Yeah. That is so Hollywood. And how frequently does your board change over?
We lose about 25 to 33% of our board every 2 years because of term limits and election cycles. This year, we're guaranteed in the next elections in November to lose at least 7 members of our 25-member board.
Yeah. Wow. Very disruptive. And the point of this podcast is because Orange OC San is an incredibly resilient utility. And the more I've learned about it, the more I've been impressed at the resilience you've got. Resilience not just on your engineering and infrastructure, but also on the billing that you've got. I think it's planned 3% rises for the next 5 years. It's a very low cost, resilient utility. And I wanted to understand how you've been so low cost. And then when I learned about your board, I thought this is even more incredible because the board aren't necessarily as informed as you might imagine many utility boards to be, because they are appointed individuals via the city. And so we're going to get to in a couple of minutes as to how you've become a resilient utility. But before we go there, can you just describe what life was like in OC San back 20 years ago, back in the late 1990s?
When I started, I came from the oil background, very, very technically savvy, very forward thinking, very conscious of every investment. Safety was number one because you're talking about oil and gas. An explosion creates a crater. When I came here, it wasn't the same. We were very reactive. We were trying to be forward looking, but everyone came in Monday morning, what broke over the weekend, who got called in, what are we going to fix, what's new this week, and everyone would scramble around Monday morning, get set, and go about their business and wait for the next weekend.
Yeah.
We've
It's
come a
it's
long way since then.
it's a firefighting. So, and of course, the reason I want to pause there is because what you've just described is pretty much how most utilities operate. There is a firefighting mode. There's also a little bit of heroics that sometimes goes on. There's something heroic about being the operator who gets out of bed at 3 a.m. and has to go and fix a broken pump or something. But that firefighting mode, which means you're constantly reactive rather than responsive. Can you now describe the how it feels to be an employee in OC San today?
Oh, it's a totally different situation. We have become forward thinking in a planned environment. We come in Monday morning, and the last three in a row, no call outs this weekend. The plants are running fine. Um, we haven't had a sewer spill in our entire service area caused by OC San since November of 2022. We haven't had a water quality violation in 18 years. Things are stable and things are moving forward. And it starts with that strategic planning that you were kind of getting to
Yeah.
with how we orient our board. So if I
Yeah.
could just take a minute or two and talk about that.
Please do. We're precisely there. We're now at the tell me about the strategic planning, because this, I think, is the key to how you become resilient.
It is. We have a top to bottom alignment structure where the highest level on our board, from the board chair all the way down to the service workers providing maintenance services, all understand what we're trying to do. So we have a plan. When we turn over the board, we're going to get those one third of our new board. We're going to spend the first 3 months of their term on the board educating them on what we do, how we do, and why we do it. So we have a strategic planning process that breaks down our entire service provision into 15 areas. Things like financial services, wastewater treatment, chemical resilience, um, chemicals of emerging concern, biosolids reuse, energy independence. 15 areas that line out what we do. Our job is to have a well-written 3-page summary for those board members that I can take them through over 2 or 3 months, and they know exactly what we're doing, why we're doing it, and where we want to be.
Yeah.
So the plan is always looking out. It's not a 5-year plan and it's 3 years old. Every new board gets to put their stamp on the plan, and that's where we're going.
And that's the bit that I particularly love, because we do get tracked into I'm doing the 5-year plan and I'm now in year 4 of it. Whereas actually what you've got is you've got a constant rolling plan that is constantly being challenged by, yes, they might not be engineers in the water sector, but they are bright, informed, caring people who can apply their knowledge and challenge your plan so that you are constantly tweaking it. I assume you're not doing sudden swerves in the plan. What's happening is the plan's constantly being tweaked a little to the left, a little to the right as technology changes, as regulations evolve, as the pressures and what people want. Correct?
It's written in plain English. The first 3 months, they get to hear the prior wisdom of the board. It's not staff telling them what they should do. It's the prior wisdom of the board. And then they get the next 6 months to, just what you said, put their stamp on where they want this agency to go. And it doesn't radically differ because they see the wisdom in 100% water reuse, which is where we've gotten that few people have. They see us partnering with Orange County Waste and Recycling for food waste recovery. They see us partnering with Orange County Water District again for water recycling, always looking for opportunities, always trying to be a good partner.
So the secret to this is perhaps to try and break out of that regulatory cycle and keep a long-term view that enables you to build 20-year partnerships. Your relationship with OC Water District, which is obviously the potable side, OC San does the wastewater side. That is not just on the food waste. You're also, of course, doing it on recharge of the aquifers, which I think is a topic for another podcast.
Yeah.
Now, none of this sounds like rocket science. This sounds like it's pretty straightforward. So, what's the special? What's the specialty here? What is it that you're doing that other people have missed? Is there something that's
It's focus. So we have this long-term plan. The plan is coupled with an asset management plan. We took the time to develop asset engineers that are assigned to each area of the treatment plant, each of our watersheds for our collection system, and there's ownership of each of those areas. My directive is, if something is installed, it better work.
that's a
And if
brilliant.
it doesn't work, you're going to answer to the general manager why this pump, this asset, this centrifuge, whatever it is, why isn't it available? It's installed. It better work.
That is going to be the title of this podcast. If it's installed, it better be working. I think that's a great mantra for. We don't accept half half measures. We do it right. We do it right first time. Now, does this mean that things don't go wrong?
Of course, things break all the time. I have $14 billion in assets. Things break. But we have designed our systems, like most people did from the start, to have resilience. If you need 4 pumps, you have 5, maybe you have 6, depending on your duty standby split. But you can't let that 5th pump be down and be okay with it being down until somebody finds the parts, until the supply chain. No, it's not okay. Work it out. If you need parts in the warehouse because it's a critical pump, get your parts in the warehouse. I don't want to hear you can't have your pump. People
Now,
paid for it. It better work.
I'm loving this because we got to the bit. I've known you for a long time, Rob, and you are. I believe that the secret isn't just that you've got a well-informed board and you've got a plan that is constantly evolving, not stuck into a time frame. I think this is about leadership, and you just showed there that you're the Captain Kirk on the bridge of the Enterprise, going through a meteor shower, and you're making sure that everybody is held to account. And there is some brilliant, exceptional leadership there.
So one of the ways we made it happen as I became operations and maintenance director for a period of time was I would go out every 2 weeks with my chief operators, the managers over operations and maintenance, walk the plant and point out, why is this broken? Why is that conduit hanging there? How come this motor is tagged out? And they had to answer for why things were not well kept, why housekeeping wasn't right, and why things were broken.
And
And
you don't want that conversation happening twice, do you?
correct.
Absolutely not. Now, you've been very generous in sharing with me that these plans that you've referred to, which obviously will need to be made specific to each utility, but they are all available. This isn't about some clever software. It's about process and a procedure. And these are available online, and any utility can look at them, and you're very happy for them to be plagiarized and adopted and adapted to fit other utilities. Correct?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Our strategic plan is there to see, take it, morph it to your own needs. Our asset management plan is there by each of the areas. Take the format. All you need is an owner for each area. And it's something that is our management procedure. It's not just a document on the shelf.
You're a star. All right. We're coming up to time. I'd like to finish by just asking you to go back 29 years to Rob Thompson as he's just joining. What advice would you give him?
Do the right thing. Be patient. Stay at it. It will work out.
Do the right thing. Be patient. Stay at it. It will work out. That is spectacular. Thank you very much, Rob. You have been listening to the Exec Exchange with Piers Clark. I've been talking to Rob Thompson, the General Manager at OC San. Please join us next time. Goodbye.